Hey there. Welcome to Ollie's stream. We're late if you're watching this live, and that's okay. Hashtag blame Scott. But, you know, we're not going to hold it against him because it was the finale of Mass Effect, and that's pretty important.
We are going to hold it against him.
But I am going to hold it against him, and today's the day Sid dies. So, speaking of what happened last week, what happened last week? You actually came back from Copperbeard's Hold. You returned to Lichvale because you're dealing with possessions and being affected mentally by the Shadow Realm. Bad stuff. Bad stuff. So you went home, back to your house, and you drank. And I think your main objectives right now words. Find out more about the cult that you know is under the city, or like the ruins of the city.
Under the city.
And I think you wanted to find Humble too, because you had a feeling he had something to do with this. Where we literally left off is that old Gilwyn and Vale had a talk with a nice gentleman that knows where Humble is and has a map to the catacombs and is willing to sell it to you for 1,000 gold pieces. And that, I think, is exactly where we left off, with that guy going back upstairs in the Thirst Quencher Tavern, and Gilwyn returning to the party after getting that punch of news.
So, I just talked to the Dragonborn chap with Vale, don't know where he's gone, and he would sell us a map to the location of the cult place, as I like to call it. But it's 1,000 gold. If anyone, Melody, do you have 1,000 gold?
Melody?
Nah, probably not.
Remember, you have Melody's gold. Or, is it Media who has Melody's gold? I can't remember.
No,
Someone has
I
Melody's
have
gold.
it. That's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah,
That's
you
true,
have
I
it.
Is everyone here? Everyone is here, isn't? That's correct.
Suddenly looks around and he's like, Vale is not.
So that was Dean asking, not Gil. But I understand how it's very. Our voices are very similar.
I wonder why.
No, I don't know where Vale went. I think he's still with the guy.
He might be puking a little bit. He might have drank a little bit too much.
Might be puking a bit. He might have drank a bit too much. And I'll sit down and I'll just kind of think about how to get the map.
Well, could we negotiate part of payment with him? Like, whatever we find in this?
I thought for a second you were going to talk about a payment plan. We'll pay you 10 gold every week.
No, we can do a percentage, like whatever we find down there, whatever reward we receive from Lichvale. Could that be agreeable?
Melody has good memory. If Melody can see map, might remember map, no need to buy.
I'm getting flashbacks to the other map we took a look at.
Exactly. It all came full circle. You thought that was pointless? That was a Chekhov's gun leading to this moment, my friend.
Good thing I was an arsehole then. It's led to this moment.
Absolutely.
I mean, I also have a really good memory, but I can probably do a little bit better than that. Instead of, if he won't show you the map, there's another way that I can do it. It's a little bit more deceptive, but if your way doesn't work, I have a backup plan. Punchline. I can see through Punchline's eyes, and I happen to be a bit of an artist myself. If we can get Punchline into the room, and Punchline can see the map, I can draw it here, and then Melody would have it, and we'd have a copy. But again, like that's your way might be less convoluted.
Okay. I guess we could try and negotiate some sort of terms of payment. I don't know how willing he will be to do that. You seem
Why
pretty dead
not?
set on 1,000 gold, to be honest.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I thought the plan was to memorize the map and not even give him anything.
No, yes, we will approach him with the pretenses of trying to set something up, ask for the map so we can verify that it's real, have Melody look at it, and then cancel our arrangements.
Isn't this operating under the assumption that he will show us the map?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good to me. Let's do it.
That sounds like Gilwin. Point out a flaw and then be okay with it.
Before we have this meeting, though, and I'm actually gonna like do one of those grab a feather, like right before we go to the meeting, and I'll cast the spell to give him advantage on more or less like bartering checks, but persuasion, and like put a feather in Gilwin's cap.
In my hair, because I don't wear a cap. But yeah, I'll take that.
Then it's a flower.
Oh, thanks very much.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
since
I'm
you don't wear
going
a
to
cap,
allow
the feather
this,
is now
but-
a flower.
Well, feather in your hair is a little
Very
grimy
powerful
seeming,
magic. He's a
but a
bard.
flower.
Melody looks at the flower longingly.
It's funny because it's not a real flower; it's like a mechanical one.
Oh.
It does like little shocks on the side of his temple. So like every time he's going
Be
to say
smart.
something that thinks of something that's not a good idea, it's like
Well, South Park. Does everyone want to come? Or is it just me and Melody? Or
I don't think I need to be there. I haven't met the thing. And didn't you say it was hostile
thing?
towards gnomes?
He didn't say that.
that's just you worrying about everybody being hostile?
Maybe it's just
towards
me
gnomes?
because it's been 2 weeks. Out of character, remembering him being mean about gnomes, and I wasn't there to witness it.
I think he was, yeah, but
Okay, so I don't know that, and so this whole conversation didn't happen.
Well, why don't you give him your creature? That way, if things go south, they can leave it there at the very least. If they don't show you the map.
I'll get Punchline and have Punchline go over to Gil, which is funny because Gil now has Punchline and the cat.
Gil is getting a menagerie.
At some point, Sid, can we name this cat so I can call it something other than the cat?
I liked you better than me. Maybe you should name it.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it looks kind of like I think it can be a little testy at times, kind of mean, like a mean Dean. You know, that's what I was thinking.
Mean Dean.
Yeah.
Mean Dean the
Okay.
cat? That's actually a pretty good cat name.
Mean Dean. Okay. I'll workshop it. I'll let you know. Amelia,
Huh?
do you want to come with me? Are you okay here?
You guys can handle this. I'll stay with Sid and we can play another game.
All right. Yeah. Drink more. I understand. Yeah, that's fair
You
enough.
go back to playing
Chess.
card chess.
Melody,
Melody?
let's go commit a crime.
Melody just sort of looks blankly at that, but follows you anyway.
This is one of those things where you can clearly tell one of the rock gnome like bartenders was like, like not getting involved. Don't want to know.
Heard nothing.
Yeah.
And I guess with that, I would go back to where me.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Back upstairs to where his room is, because he went back upstairs. Like, this conversation's over. You can knock at his door. There's a little bit of time before he opens the door, as it's been a little while. I'll remind you that this is a golden dragonborn who is shirtless in, barbarian garb, which means trousers. With a big old axe. He's not actually got the axe equipped right now. You can actually see behind him the large axe is propped up in these little small rooms. They're comfortable, but they'd actually be quite large for a gnome. But for big boys, it's not so big. But there's also a couple of other things like bags, traveler's packs behind him. And he kind of just leans on the door frame and he's like, "So, have you got 1,000 gold?"
1,000 gold is a bit hard to scrape together in one night, and I'll pull out a bag of 174 gold, which is literally all of mine with gold,
You pull out your coin first.
pretty much. And I will go, I have 174 gold, counted it myself. If I can come inside and please negotiate, with my friend here, of course, Melody. I would be very grateful if we could please negotiate some terms. The 1,000 gold is still on the table, of course, but it might not come in one piece.
Give me a persuasion roll with advantage because of Sid's magic. Do you remember the stats for the servos, Scotto?
Scotto?
Because they probably don't have a stealth, but they have a dex. We can go back to that. He just kind of like looks at the gold and plucks it up. Ugh. Oh yeah, so it's just a raw 20 roll that you could do, Scott, if you want. He plucks up the coin purse, and his hand is... Gilwin's tall, but like small tall. He's like just a beanpole man. So this Dragonborn's like clawed hands just grab and easily take the coin purse and kind of like just weighs it in his hand, and he's like, "What a peculiar number. You really want this map, don't you?" And he kind of like tucks it in his trousers, and that's actually pretty good. Bonus, we know what, there probably should be something.
Bonus of being tiny sized. Yeah, I guess.
Right? And as he turns around to let you in, you see Punchline like legs a little running, skittering in, and like hiding behind the door. And as he goes in, and he actually motions for you two to sit on the bed, which isn't that weird. It's the only furniture in the room. And he picks up one of the several things leaning against the wall. Not the axe. He's not about to kill you. He picks up a tube, and you actually know, Gilwin, because you carry one around with you that like it's either a scroll tube or a maps tube or something like that, or the similar sort of thing. It's very ornate blue with like gold and silver all over. Like the tube itself looks like it probably is worth a couple of hundred gold. And he sort of holds it in his hand. It's like, "So what do you mean by negotiate?"
Well, two things. One, that is a really nice scroll case. I'm wondering if we could just maybe take that out of the equation, drop a couple hundred. If not, that's fine. It's pretty. Two, can I actually look? Can I look at the map?
See, here's the thing. I'm not a fool.
All right.
I know
okay.
that you need to look at the map to get to wherever you need to go. I knew someone would. That's why I'm here. I'm not from this blasted place, nor this stinking continent. It's far too hot here. It's pretty cold. So, I don't really want to... I know it would be not the best idea to let you see it. But if you don't want the case, that's fine. And say 800. I'm sure that gnome of yours can build you a new case to hold it. They're so good at building things with all kinds of uses, not just killing.
So for that lovely ornate case, you're willing to drop 200 gold. That makes me think you're willing to drop another few hundred gold. See how I rhymed that? It's pretty nice, that. I'm a bard, by the way.
Give me a persuasion roll. Because you charmed me. Even if you didn't charm me.
Any advantage?
You still got advantage, yeah. I think it lasts until 10 minutes? Cool. I was thinking an hour, but 10 minutes is better. For me. That was you just rolling then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yes.
He kind of like... He nods a bit. And he's like... You seem a reasonable fellow. Small. But your lass there's making up for that quite a lot. So maybe I am willing to drop the price a little bit. Why is it you need it again? You were looking for something down there. I can assure you there's nothing down there that's pleasant. Nothing down there for someone, well, for a bard. Aside from the one that always jaunts himself down there every night either way.
Well, he's not here to back this up, so you'll have to take my word for it. But do you remember that, like, shiny elven bloke I was talking to and who talked to you?
He looked like if I leant on him, he would have snapped.
Yeah, that guy. It's pretty pathetic, I know. He's not here to substantiate this, but he told me that there's some pretty nice treasure down there. And I'm talking pretty nice treasure.
Interesting.
And here's the kicker. If you give me this for a discounted price, or even just let me look at it so I know it's real, I'm willing to split it 70-30 to you. To me. 70-30 to me. I get this. You know what I mean.
Give me a persuasion roll with advantage. To me, to you. Wrong show. Let me just check a thing real quick. Because someone... He kind of... He nods a bit. He kind of strokes the frills on his face because the golden dragonborn kind of have this almost beard-like whiskery thing going on. I'll let you look at it. Then you can scrounge up the price yourself. This is valuable stuff. Ancient stuff. It's worth the weight on age alone to the, well, you know, shiny Shinebank motherfuckers and people from Goldport and all the places with money in the name.
Goldport.
And he kind of like fiddles with the tube for a bit. You can actually tell there's a little bit of a puzzle box thing on the end of it. Not anything complicated. Before he pops it open and takes out the actual several scrolls that the map takes up. And he doesn't hand them to you. He just kind of like shows them to you. And they are old. Like, they're very old, but very well kept and elaborate. Like, you've, at this point, have been around Lichvale enough times to kind of get the layout of the city, or at least what it was like. And you can kind of tell, oh, this is under everything. This catacomb sprawls under it. It goes down a huge amount. It goes up again. It just goes down into natural caverns. It's this huge sprawling map. A regular person would not be able to... Gilwyn would not be able to look and remember every feature of it instantly. But Melody and Punchline... Oh, Melody and Sid can. Sid, give me another stealth roll for trying to look at this thing. Because you've got to get behind Gilwyn, essentially, to do it.
If their plan fails, that's what Sid would do it.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I'll do like the whole stay in the room, pop open the cap, and sneak a peek. If they fail, yeah.
Cool. So, you glance. Melody, you glance. The way this will work for you is that you're looking at the map. You basically just have... You can now do survival rolls to find this place. Now, whether they work or not is entirely up to the dice at this point. But you're good at survival, which is your photographic memory. And he lets you look at it for a couple of minutes, probably like 2 minutes before he puts it back in the tube again. He's like, see? It's real. It's true. All of it.
Melody just nods at Gale.
Thank you, Melody.
Scrounge up that money and come back whenever you want. And then maybe we'll talk about hunting for some treasure.
Could I please ask your name again?
My name's Rorimus.
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 Now, Rorimus, I've got just one tiny, tiny little favour. Could I please take 50 gold back? Because I've got a gentleman inside town who is willing to sell me a wand that will protect us. If you come with us, that will protect us from apparently evil down there. I don't know. That's what he's telling me. 50 gold for a wand that will protect us from evil. I'm just a guy.
This is a big deception roll. You don't have advantage on that.
Okay.
But he's actually going to be rolling insight versus it, and
No!
Oh!
I've got luck. Hang on.
you have got luck. You got luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things where there's like a little twinkle in your eye, and you're like, "Fuck, I hope this works," because there's an awkward silence, and he just kind of like shrugs. And he like actually just sort of puts a hand in the coin purse and just kind of throws you a handful of coins. It ends up being 48 But you know what? You're probably not going to argue at this point. Or count them while you're there. You're probably like, but he's like, fine. If we're going down there when you've got the money. Yeah. If there's talks of all kinds of evil hubbub going on down there, and undead and demons and spooks. So, probably wise to protect yourself.
And just to protect yourself, if I'm not back in 2 days, consider my ass grass, and I give you permission to do whatever you will with me. But give me 2 days at maximum to come back with the money.
Very well. I see you're a businessman as well.
Hey, all parties need to be protected.
He nods and like motions to the door. He's not rude about it. But...
Melody, after you. Mr. Aurora Borealis, thank you very much for your time. And I hold out a hand.
Aurora Borealis. At this time. And he shakes your hand. It hurts. Scales and... In fact, you Dragonborn you've seen are usually a lot softer looking than this guy. He's sharp. And he shakes your hand, and it's one of those, like, your arm goes like... he kind of just sort of motions for you to go and closes and locks the door behind you and all that. But you got what you needed.
I will immediately jingle the 48 gold to Melody and say, now I fucked up there a little bit, but this is yours.
I was thinking, like, why 50?
Ahead at you.
And I will go back downstairs.
So, how'd it work out?
Melody?
Melody remembers, can guide through catacombs,
It's a big word for Melody.
but can do.
Amelia, do you have any like parchment on you or anything like that? Or do you have any...
Of course.
Melody, would you be able to either draw or describe to Sid so he can draw a nice version of the map?
Melody frowns and can try. If Sid draws, maybe easier.
It's one of those
Sid?
things where, yeah, you can try, but this is not how Melody thinks. So
Yeah.
Right.
you can make... I'm just looking to see if there's anything that would make more sense than this. Honestly, this would be a persuasion roll, because you know what you saw, but you're trying to explain it, and you're Melody. And even then, you trying to explain things that you saw on a map is quite hard for you to... You're just like, I know where to go.
Whoa. Flat charisma versus flat wisdom. Her charisma versus my wisdom. This is going to go well.
It's got nothing to do with your wisdom. It's mostly her. You can understand.
I understand what she's saying, right?
Yes, I imagine it's like an insight roll in his behalf.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
If you want to
Wisdom,
make it worse for yourself, sure, but if it succeeds, it really succeeds. Go ahead.
Misadventures of Sally and Melody.
Well, this is going to go well because I am brilliant at charisma.
Pass it up.
What a surprise.
Could I inspire at least one of them?
Yeah, you can inspire one of them. Which one do you want to inspire?
Sid, I think.
You're going to
And
regret that. I'm going to roll like a
Yeah,
bear.
I was going to say you should have inspired Melody, but that's okay.
Well, I'm going to grab Sid's little head and I'm going to go, it's very important, so pay attention.
Thanks.
You're very
He's
inspired. I'm sure.
forget the fact that Sid's had many shots of a strong liquor today.
It could be worse.
Not bad.
Now, they're very close, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure if we were looking for one to... well...
Oh!
You know what? You actually spend basically the rest of the night doing this. It's one of the things where, now that you're not playing this game, I imagine Sid gets pretty into it, because it's kind of a bit of a game in itself, trying to decipher what Melody's trying to say. Sometimes just the words aren't right, sometimes the way she describes things aren't right, but...
Sometimes it probably comes out in Sylvan about her realising.
Yeah, and you have to be like, well, Gnomish and Sylvan, Gnomish originates from Sylvan, so I can kind of, like, that word means that, and there's a turn here, and you end up spending the rest of the night doing that, where I imagine Dean just kind of chills. Or Dean does chill, but Gilwin and Amelia stay around to kind of watch, to help a little bit. That they are, and you're probably quite lost.
Yeah. I actually need to send out a letter of my own if we're going to be leaving Lichvale soon. Ollie, I want to send a letter back to my college, negotiating like a payment before we go, kind of like in good faith because I'm going further south. And also, I'm going to ask if I can exchange research. I'm going to offer the second level spell that I've done in exchange for research involving masking magical auras.
Okay.
And I'm looking for a particular spell.
I get what you mean. You can draft that letter absolutely fine. Make me just a persuasion roll. It's more... If it was an etiquette roll, I'd have you do that. But
yeah,
it's not really a pass-fail kind of thing. It's just going to...
Yeah.
And I imagine, actually, do you let, like, Gilwin would help with this? Because you probably see
No,
her writing a letter.
I wouldn't talk to her about it.
Oh. Well, you write a letter. It's
Right.
Had you let me know, I would have enchanted your pen.
too late now.
Yeah. Amelia doesn't say anything to anybody about it. She just does it.
Just
gives
writes
it to
a
her
letter on the
owl.
table. Gives it to her owl. Owl flies
Thanks,
off.
Harry Potter.
Look, she has a cool,
works.
cool
I have a cool
snow
owl.
owl.
Leave
And
it alone.
you got to accept that.
And it's a snow owl?
Yeah.
It's
She's from the north.
It doesn't have to be a fruit. It just is.
Judging.
And
tell you
you send that off in the night, and Gilwin hangs out. So actually, it's like...
At one point in time, while Melody and I are playing our game... Oh, hey, Gilwin, where's Punchline? You got him back, right?
I'll just stare directly ahead like, oh no.
Let me just do a roll real quick. For no reason.
Punch the cat? Mean Dean? Mean Dean? Yeah, Mean Dean's right here.
No. I mean Punchline. Did you leave him in that room?
Well, I didn't leave him because I technically didn't bring him.
I knew that was coming.
So I can't.
You're gonna have to go back and get it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hold on, Melody. We're gonna have to interrupt this. I have to go and unlock the door for Dean to go get. Sorry. For
Gilwin.
For Gilwin to go and get Punchline.
Give me I need a reason why I'm going back in that man's room.
Oh no, he's probably sleeping. I'll just have Punchline unlock it.
Okay.
I assume the door's locked, Ollie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dean can actually
Is it
tell you that. He heard the door lock.
Is it a padlock
can tell you
or a sliding lock or a...
You've been in these rooms
okay.
before. It's a sliding lock.
That's easy. So I would have to take over what's his name's self, Punchline's self, and like go over and try to like monkey up and unslide the lock.
It's
while
possible.
the guy's sleeping. Yeah.
Can you actually? I know you can see through its eyes. Can you possess it?
The ruling is
Oh, I mean it's up here. And just look at it.
independently of you, but always obeys your commands in combat. It rolls initiative. Servo can't. Blah blah blah. When the servo drops to, when your servo is within 100 feet of you, you communicate with it telepathically. You can speak through your servo in your own voice.
So when you're within 100 feet of it, you can basically give it commands.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you can get upstairs and do that.
Yep. More or less, or even downstairs. Is it within 100 feet's a huge distance?
Yeah, you're
Think about
probably
that. There's 30
I'm
meters.
I'm trying to think of the size, and I'm terrible at that. But you probably are actually within that distance.
So just look
Almost
through its eyes and
definitely,
like, all right, let's go over there. Blah 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 blah. Climb on up.
You know
but
what you need.
I imagine you
to
have to make checks.
Yeah. Do I make Sid do the checks, or do I make Servo do the checks?
Oh, servo does the checks. Come on.
Okay. I'm gonna need a sleight of hand from the Servo, please.
To go like this, or to go like this quietly.
To do it. It's tiny, and it has to climb up the door to do it.
You've never seen a cat go. I won't argue with you. I'm just being.
No, I haven't actually. Not aside from in GIF form, and this is a world without GIFs or GIFs.
Wait, real life? You've never seen cats open up things that they shouldn't be able to open?
Yeah, but I've
Fucking
never
cats.
like not that
It's
kind
like-
of door, I guess.
It's like every cat watched the first Jurassic Park and was like,
It's what clever
inspiration.
It's one of those things where it's absolutely possible, but basically, Punchline has to jump from the like bed table onto it.
Yep. It's a little monkey creature, but obviously it's a high jump.
It's a
or
high
far
jump for a tiny
Yeah.
thing.
I completely agree. And if it misses, it's not exactly a quiet land. It's not flesh.
If it
it's
misses,
metal.
make me a stealth roll, which is the same roll. Do it now. Do it now.
Get down.
I should have given the Dragonborn Arnie voice. I didn't think about it. Rip. Too late now. You, because you're listening to it telepathically, you're seeing through its ears. You just hear like a, and like the dragon, and it's not a very nice noise. It's a dragonborn sort of snorting itself awake, and the dragonborn starts dragging itself out of bed. You'd like probably turn around. Dragonborn of this kind obviously sleeps naked, so you just look up to a telepathic eye full of dragon dick, and he just looks down like, in Draconic, essentially you still get the gist is, what the hell is that? And then grabbing the axe. What do you do?
Well,
Sid.
Because this wasn't the original plan. The original plan was to when he left the room.
You should have told me.
No, not the breaking out part. The looking at the scroll part.
Ah.
What do? I have it scramble underneath the mattress.
Okay, so you do that, and he's like, "Oi, what's that?" And then he like gets the axe, and then you see, well, you probably peek. You hear him like pause. You could totally axe the bed. He doesn't. And then you see like the claws start like coming after you under the bed, trying to reach at you. Give me an acrobatics or athletics roll. If you have a +1 to the servo's strength, you don't.
you see
give me an
2
acrobatics
feet
roll.
approach the bed, and then something like swinging
Like a
in
pendulum.
between the feet.
A golden pendulum. And it's such a small, awkward thing to grab.
You're saying he's a shower, not a grower, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, you don't know, but you can assume. Just you're like, Punchline is squirming away from the hand, probably like squeaking, and trying to get away best he can. You actually do like get around the mattress behind him if you want to try the door again.
I want to climb up to a windowsill
There is a window.
and stop there for a second.
So you could do that because you stop, but he turns and he gets the axe. It's like,
I want to plan to jump out of the way like right as he's reaching or swinging or whatever, so it like breaks the window.
absolutely.
Probably like
Either
a saving throw.
Yeah, exactly. Deck save makes the most sense, which is again probably just a D20 for you.
Yeah. Because there's no rules for tiny sized creatures. Only
No,
for hiding.
I've actually made
Only
some,
for hiding, I think.
but not for this.
Yeah.
So that's terrible. So what happens is you like go to launch as he goes to launch. He swings, but because he's naked and kind of all out of it, and this axe is actually huge, sort of the other end of the axe swings into the guy's crotch. He falls to the ground, which gives you time to turn Punchline around and realize the window's locked, and you fumble with the latch on this side, get it up, and then climb down probably, as the Dragonborn is in pain and
Did he crit fail an attack roll?
I don't know what you're talking about. Cinematic, and then Punchline can get back to you in the tavern without any issue.
His hand
Does
gets
Gil just wait
tangled in
outside the
something.
door this whole time?
So here's the fun part: is
Yeah.
I'm intoxicated, so I wouldn't remember to tell Gil to come back. So I'm not sure what Gil's doing upstairs.
Yeah, Gil went upstairs to get him back. That's true.
Wait, and
But he
It
heard all this
scrambled.
commotion.
You would have heard swearing in Draconic and thump, and now the howls of a... Gilwyn Gallagher, you know what it sounds like when a man's been punched in the balls. You just know.
I'm well aware.
You're well aware.
I thought it was just a manly like. Like I got
No.
this.
Even big barbarians, they fall.
It's like Tim Allen from Home Improvement.
Anyway, what are you doing, Mr. Gill?
Did
Gallagher.
you say that the door's still locked? So
The
it's still-
door's still locked. You would have heard Punchline scrabble for it.
Punchline, you coming?
I think based on how much, if I'm hearing that from the hallway,
Yeah, you are.
a passerby's reaction would be, "Is everything okay in there?"
There's a few minutes, and you hear fumbling in the
Minutes.
door.
Christ.
There's a big swing to the bollocks.
Yeah, well, it was. It's a big axe. It dealt a
Got
lot
a
of
weapon as
dealt a lot of non-lethal damage to the walls right there.
No. My point is, if it's a few minutes and somebody's rapping at the door, is everything okay? And I imagine like a crowd, like other people being like, "What's going on out here?"
No, this is this is a mercenary tavern. So there's not a crowd. There is there's the bartender, the guy with the peg leg, just sort of standing there like, I hope none of them died in there again. And eventually he opens the door. He has clothes on and he looks pissed. And he kind of looks at you, Gilwyn, blamingly, but not sure. Give me a deception roll to flash him a lovely, charming smile. To not be like, I know what just happened in there.
Well, I would definitely say it's clearly not me. Why would I return to the scene of the crime?
Still gotta do it. Still gotta give me the roll.
Cutting words, or what's that? What's the vicious mockery?
Vicious mockery.
Clearly,
that was a vicious mockery. Is it? He kind of like nods and shakes his head like there was a tiny little gnomish thing. Your slave master's done me dirty. And then he picks up the axe again that was on the ground and actually pushes past you, unless you want to try and stop him.
He's going to go down and see us copying out the map.
Whoa. I would definitely stop him. Or at least I would shout to stop him.
Yeah, it's one of those things where him barging into you, you ain't stopping him. But if you want to try and yell at him as he's going, like he has to go down the corridor, then down the stairs, you absolutely can. I'm going to get this monster manual for no reason. No reason at all.
My favorite part is I'll never know he's coming.
Nope.
Who's standing right behind me? I'm like, no, really, you gotta get this part right. You know,
What do you mean by reliquary?
I mean, seriously, are you doing this from your memory? You only saw it for 15 seconds?
Anyway, what are you yelling at him, Dean?
He's not downstairs, he's in his room.
Give me a deception.
Should have been, I'll do you dirty.
Let me take a look at your golden axe, Bubba.
He stops and turns around and he looks at you and then he points at the rock gnome. He's like, the gnome, the white-haired one. Is he? And everyone's like, yeah, he's downstairs. And he's like, thank you kindly. See? You're not all bad. And turns around. And I imagine Gilwyn turns to this rock gnome beside him. And he's like, it's just way easier for everyone.
I'd shake my head like, come on, man, really? And go downstairs.
He stomps down the stairs and exactly as you describes walks in on you guys copying the map out on pieces of parchment. And he roars, like actual primal dragon roar.
Hearing that, Melody would immediately take a defensive stance in front of Sid, like protecting.
All of you guys do me a massive favor. And roll me initiative. I actually have a token for this guy, so give me a minus second.
I was gonna say no to that one.
But you should
Go ahead. just gonna get ahead and say no.
Whoa!
I actually did something good for once, and then fucking Sid's little robot bastard fucks it all up. For God's sake.
Welcome to D&D, where your plan was good and it still doesn't matter.
Or your plan is shit and somehow it works.
There are no middle grounds. There will be no encore.
There are middle grounds. It's called cookie cutter.
On the positive side, I just got my Nat 1 out the way.
That's good. But unfortunately, it's trying to protect
Yeah.
Gilwin.
Oh god, that guy's an uglier bastard than I thought.
I mean, he's a golden dragonborn, right? They are go. No one would ever...
Why, those are the gorgeous ones.
Depends who you ask. A certain elf paladin who isn't in the game right now would say they're quite attractive.
I like to think they are actually really ugly, and they think they're beautiful just because they're gold. But they actually
That's
are
absolutely
objectively hideous.
how some of them do it. But they all have like the weird facial frill thing.
They're the lawful good, highest CR dragons that exist in a core monster manual.
Ain't how it works here, mate. Sid,
They ain't no astral dragons.
you actually do notice this, but you need to give me an insight roll to notice if it's for you.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't have penalties to insight, so.
No. Nah.
Okay.
You just assume that you haven't caused any trouble. You haven't done anything wrong. You haven't started any fights. You've seen a couple of brawls in this tavern before. It's not you. Now, Amelia.
So I'll look up and I'll be like, "Oh no, Melody, calm down. He's just angry at somebody." And then I'll be like, "Here, let's keep copying the map."
And then Amelia, even though you are like 3 drinks down, and that's a drink part. That's 2 drinks.
Wait, that's
past
my whole turn?
Amelia's. Yeah, Amelia's 1
sucks.
drink limit. You do notice what's going on. Well, you got a good initiative, and I wanted to give you a chance.
Thanks.
But
we're
in
gonna
character,
Chance,
Sid
it
doesn't
was
know
like-
what's going on.
that. You don't get that chance.
On Sid.
Useless, Sid. You know your place.
And I'm gonna try to calm the Dragonborn down. Just like, listen, we can work something out. I don't know why you're upset, but let's just take a moment and relax.
So you say that. It's his turn next. He walks up to you, just puts his hand on your face, like actually, and just shoves you away. It's not like a throw, but because he's strong and you're not, you are knocked prone. And then he just hefts his axe up. He, like, literally, from the way he is, I imagine, like, Sid was sitting facing away from the door as well, anyway. Or from the stairs. So he's just behind and goes and attacks at Sid. Where is Sid? Sid is here. Hello,
Wisdom
Sid.
saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw first. Absolutely. How wise is he? He's actually fairly wise. What's your DC?
It should be on there. Is it 13 for this? It's different for this than my other spells because it's wisdom based.
Yeah. It doesn't say on there.
It is 12.
He got a 13. This is one of those things where he stops and actually kind of like reconsiders it for a moment, which is enough time for other people in the tavern, where it is quieter than it ever used to be. And actually, a lot of people don't move because you know that a lot of them are addled by the Shadowfell. A lot of them like, no, stop! What are you doing? He's a defenseless gnome. And you notice the bartender is sitting at the top of the stairs, like, it's gonna be tough to clean.
I am a defenseless gnome. As a matter of fact, that is one of my advantages, is that I am a defenseless person.
Yeah.
He might second guess. He might actually have to second guess whether. I mean, Sanctuary. Maybe he had to roll that with disadvantage or something. It's like
He already rolled it, mate. But
I'm just saying, he came at me with an axe and daggers, and my response was, I'm just going to do nothing and stand here and not even smile at you.
We'll see
ahead,
what
attack.
happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe you'll be right. Maybe he will be. Now, this isn't actually... He has one of these big boys instead. So his axe is huge.
And
His
my
like
AC's only 12.
your AC's only 12. He's like swing backwards, scrapes the roof, and this is actually a fairly tall roof, even though it's a gnomish building. It's like clearly like a double-sized gnomish roof, right? Which makes it very comfortable for humans as well. But it like scrapes the roof and scrapes the chandelier as he swings down and just hacks at you. It's one of those things where it's actually not a clean cut at you, Sid, because Melody is trying to pull you away, and he does. So instead of it just actually decapitating you, although he was actually aiming to just an axe in the middle of the head. Instead of just going for the head, it kind of like scrapes down your arm and your side, dealing 12 damage. But Melody managed to stop that being a lot worse than it could have been. And he's just like, and like the axe blade also stops in the chair you were sitting in, and you were sitting in one of the gnomish chairs, so because it's a gnomish tavern, they'd have stuff for you. But that did actually stop it more as well. And actually the axe is stuck in it, and then the rest of his turn, because he had a little bit of movement left and a bonus action left, he like yanks the chair off from out of it, and is like prepares to swing again. Gilwin, you can easily spend your movement action getting within sight of him and actually up to melee range of him if you really wanted.
Yeah, I'll at least get to viewing range, and with my last first level spell, cast Charm Person.
Oh, go ahead and click it.
On the Buster.
On Rorimus. I thought that was touch, but it isn't, which is crazy. Wisdom save. What's your DC?
13.
He made a 13 earlier. But he fails now. So he gets ready to swing again and just kind of like stops. And he doesn't put the axe down, he just sort of like carries it a little more casually. And stops all the fighting, and then looks at Gilwin and is like, why am I angry?
Because he beat you at chess.
He looks at the table. The chess stuff is still set up, even though it's card chess. Probably would, the gnomish fuck.
Yep. He was very smug about it as well.
Yeah.
And I'll walk up to him, to Sid, and slap him on the back of the head. Like, there you go. I got him for you.
Rorimus doesn't quite know what to do, because actually, as Scott is saying in the chat, like a little sassy baby, it doesn't necessarily calm emotions, but it does make you friendly to Gilwin, and he knows that this gnome is with Gilwin, which is why he stopped attacking. He actually sort of stomps outside, which there's some people like, didn't want to deal with that sort of thing. He stomps outside instead.
Okay.
Well, we should go.
We have an hour.
Well, I'm bleeding now, and since I've already made some other bad decisions, I might as well make one more. Hey, Melody, can you heal me real quick?
I had that going before you even asked. Melody was already going to like put her hand on your shoulder when you said that.
Does he seem like he's going to be gone for 20 seconds or 20 minutes?
It looked like... Well, give me an insight roll.
Oh, God.
You only failed one of them today. It actually looked like he's having like a proper, like a man tantrum, you know. I'm going to go...
That could last 2 minutes.
If he could, he would be going for a drive.
Yeah. I am going to quickly. I won't do my other. I was going to enchant my boots, but it takes a full minute to do, so I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to run up the stairs into his room because the door is open, and grab the scroll.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go to my room, and I'm going to get my stuff.
I don't think your stuff would have been in this tavern because you would have left it at home.
Oh, okay. Never mind. So I'm going to go grab the scroll.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it in my pack.
Yeah.
And
It
I'm going to come
sticks
back
out
downstairs.
like a lot.
It's like less than 30 seconds later, I'm going to come back downstairs. No, it's not currently a bag of holding, is it? It is currently a, what did I make it for somebody? Did I make it for anything for anybody recently?
It might be a bag
Actually,
of
it was
holding.
nothing recently, so it probably
You
is a bag
have
of
changed it to
holding.
something else, but you could have changed it back to a bag of holding, like in the last.
Yeah, because that's my default.
Yeah.
So throw the bag of holding and come back downstairs and be like, sorry, forgot something upstairs. Perhaps we should just leave.
All right, sounds good.
One sec. I'll run upstairs. Is the bag anywhere? The coin purse, or does he have
It's
it on?
he left it next to the rest of his clothes, next to his travel bag.
Okay, I will take the bag, leave 1 gold on the table, and cast prestidigitation and put a little smiley face above it. Like, and then I'll go back downstairs.
Okay. I mean, if you're gonna steal from me, you might as well, right? And you leave. The first.
As
group
it's
to
coming
turn.
back downstairs, Sid just gives him like a knowing look, like a.
Thumbs up. Let's go.
Thumbs up and a sword.
Wow.
All right, so you leave and you start heading back home. You could see him sort of stomping around as you leave. He actually gives Dean a nod. He probably gives Vale a nod too, because Vale's totally with you guys. Don't worry about it.
Totally.
And then you get back to your house, where you can actually finish doing the map. Although it doesn't take you that much longer in the night to do it, or you can even do it tomorrow. But you probably want to finish it now, so you have it for tomorrow.
Wait, why finish it? I stole it.
Yeah, we have it.
I ran upstairs and stole the map out of his room and left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but can we get into it? That's the question. With that puzzly thing.
It is a puzzle.
It's a puzzle.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
I
so
mean, I
you
do
get
have
back home.
intelligence.
You get back home with the puzzled map case.
I mean, if assume Melody would have picked up that what was being written on.
I
even
assumed
if-
you would have taken that with you. I just, for some
Yeah.
reason, completely blanked that you stole. I knew you stole the map, but I didn't consider that meant you didn't need to make a fake map.
Even if Sid wasn't helping her, Melody would try and finish it anyway,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because.
It's good practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're back
Okay.
home.
Yeah, so head back. I need a face plant on my pillow and sober up because I made some bad decisions.
So a long rest, perhaps.
Yeah.
Amelia definitely casts alarm on the doors tonight.
Oh, the arcane locks are still in place. They're permanent.
Oh, they are permanent.
I did that
Never remember
before. You left. Mm-hmm.
And
Is it creepy that the only people that can get into your room are you and Amelia? Just saying. She watches you while you're asleep. That's all I'm saying.
Don't think that's accurate.
She's a master of illusions. She practices sculpting you with illusion magics in her hands so she can show them to
Weird.
people.
you know what?
And this is what he looks like when he's drooling. Zooms in.
We need to go back to wherever that little rat hole or wherever it was with that crazy sculptor. Person.
Oh yeah.
Selmore Dean. So you have a long rest, which is good. 'cause you
Gil,
needed it.
not Dean. I'm Gil.
You're basically the same person at this point.
I meant selling the cat.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I meant you. I don't know why. It's you and Gilwyn are just one in my brain. It's like how a lot of people I know by their username. You are Gil and Gil is Dean.
Yeah, it's really hard to try to differentiate between your username and your real name anyways. So when you throw in that third name, it does throw things off.
Sir, you sleep. Golden Dragonborn doesn't come trying to barge down your house, which is good, because he probably didn't know where you lived. So you wake up, all of you hungover at this point. Aside from Gilwyn, who is absolutely fine. What's your plan of action for the day?
I guess the very first thing I want to do is look at the map. Get a pretty nice, long, erect look at that map.
I mean, you got to open the map.
Oh, whoa. That's in Sally's room. You coming into my room with an arcane lock?
I mean, I imagine Gilwyn is allowed in the basement.
The copied maps might not be with Sid.
No, not the copy, the real one. I was
copy
referring
one
to.
would
Real
be with
one, yeah.
Melody,
The real
yeah.
one's
You would
Sid.
have the, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have the copy. So the copy would be like out in the middle of the like main room.
On
So
the coffee table.
if Gil wanted to look at
On the
that,
copy table.
that's fine.
In that case, I will look at the copy.
Sure. It looks like the original map, aside from some parts aren't there, and they're like the deepest parts that clearly... I mean, you know that even though you've looked at this, if there was some kind of creepy cult here, it probably wouldn't be all here on detail, but like the deeper parts with natural catacombs, natural caves the catacombs are built into, those aren't finished on this map. Not properly.
Right.
How big are the catacombs? What is the scale of this? Like, how long are we going to be underneath there?
I mean,
Trying to find them.
If you can pinpoint... So basically what you need to do is look at the map and look for places that are suspicious. And then, actually, if you want to just, okay, we have the map, now we explore it, you could be lost down there for days. But if you have, okay, I have a place, it's probably only can take you a couple of hours to actually get down there because you have a map. The issue with catacombs is that they're very easy to get lost in because they're sprawling and maze-like and often have very irregular and inconsistent designs.
So we're probably looking for larger rooms that could house an entire cult.
If you two want to look
Narrow
at
it
that,
down?
both give me investigation rolls to...
I'm fucking great at investigation.
I'm also awesome at investigation.
Oh, are you cool?
Not right now.
Oh,
I'm very sick.
dearie me.
Amelia's very sick. We're hungover.
Yeah, hungover and sick aren't quite the same thing.
Just look for the big rooms. Like, how difficult is this?
Were you speaking to
Anyone
myself?
who
Or
wants
were
to
you
do
speaking
it. Sid
Sid,
can do
okay,
it.
'cause when
Dean
Sid
can do
joined
it.
Sid,
Dean
he
said
would-
he was looking at it.
He would be like, "Why aren't we using the rail maps?"
You like get upstairs while they're looking at it, and you realise that.
Well, because
I'm joining
it was
you.
with you and I didn't want to disturb your sleep.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought we got these for a reason, or wanted them for a reason. I got them because, fuck that guy. But, do you want to open this and invest and check out this one, or are we just going to use melodies?
Let's open it.
Because we haven't tried to open it yet, so,
Straight
I
up,
don't think...
intelligence roll. Try and open it.
Okay.
You can figure it out as a fairly simple sort of it's like you have to just flick things on it in the right order, but it's just a time to do that.
It's like a middle ages bop it.
Middle Ages bop it.
Pull it. Flick it.
It's almost more like a luggage lock.
Yeah.
See,
kinda
'cause
what I
I
have
have
in my mind.
I have my finite sight perception and investigation, but that's probably doesn't help with solving a riddle, huh?
No, but that would help with looking at the map.
Yeah, which we don't currently have open.
Yeah, you kind of sit at it and you're like, the mixture of like this kind of tactile puzzle and your attention span does not work. You fiddle with it, and once you've tried like the most logical combinations to it, you will realize it's not a system of logic. It's just one of the many thousands of possible combinations is just arbitrarily correct, and you're not okay with that.
I'm gonna hand it to what's her face, because she is extremely intelligent but not very logical.
Amelia.
She is a outside of the realm
I
school.
mean,
of,
she
like,
might even
thinking.
have knock.
I don't know.
Would have been useful.
You just got that on Friday, which is nice.
I love that spell. It's just one of those spells I never would have spent an entire level getting it.
Yeah. You just buy it for a couple hundred gold.
But if you want to give it a try, Amelia, that is an intelligence roll.
Just the flat intelligence? Okay.
Just flat intelligence.
Oh, I would have given her a history. Okay, that's fine. Sarah,
You
given her
eventually
a-
do get it. Takes you maybe half an hour. Like, because Sid wasn't really willing to sit there and work on it, but you do like half an hour while like Melody cooks you breakfast or something. So
Yeah, it's like a nice little puzzle.
yeah, you enjoy it. You open it up, you get the map out. It's way better than the one that you're using. Not that the one you're using is bad. It's just that this is a expertly crafted map of a very complex system. The reason why things look so confusing and you actually had a hard time following it on the real one is because there's a lot more detail on this one and it makes a little more sense. Yeah, it's still illogical, and it's kind of hard to tell when things are high like lower than others, but you get it more when you're looking at the real map.
Awesome. So
Investigation. And Sid snatches it away from you as you're like, huh, oh, this
That's
is really...
why I grabbed that.
So you actually notice quite a few things, Mr. Sid Wynn Gallagher.
Well, I was hoping he'd ask.
Give me a sec.
Does that make Gilney Isodisia Dafixis as well?
I don't want to think about that. That's gross. So it's actually...
He would only be Defixis.
Come
my
on.
last name.
You're not going to take the middle name. That's ridiculous.
That's
I mean, some people
absolutely
do,
crazy.
but those are the kind of people who, you know. So it's actually...
There was this kid.
His name was Simwick. So actually, you notice something very peculiar, and it's not very far down. It's just a very large. So it's actually almost in the empty spaces that the catacombs leaves are their own construct. You realize that actually, if you took these parts, this is kind of makes a very typical church shape. Where you would usually have a place of worship, and actually you can see a way into it, and you can like, okay, if we enter the catacombs, and this map is way clear about how you enter the catacombs in Lich-Vale, that's not actually going to be a problem for you. If you enter it, you could feel it, you could find it, but not just that. Following the rest of the empty space, you can connect that this place goes down quite a way, like a several-roomed chamber with that branches off. And even goes into a natural cavern that is a bit of a dead end, which Sid is like, I mean, if you wanted to hide something, and you were an evil cult, that's where I would. But you even notice that there's another way in. So there's that like that entrance to this like compound that is in this almost church-like area, and there's another place that looks like maybe it's a storage room or something. It's just a sort of box-shaped room, you know. There's no detail, there's no connection to anything else. The only thing sort of about it is it seems to be quite near one of the town, like one of the wells, one of the water supplies. So.
Do you know where this map came from? I say like as I like discover all these details, and I'm sure I'm going to explain them to him shortly, but discover the details, and again we'll explain as they come up, sort of a thing. But turning to Gil, do you know where this map came from? Like how it was made? This is rather detailed.
Did he explain that to me, Avil?
He said that he was from another place and that he came here with it.
He's from another place and he came here with it.
This isn't just a cartographer that created this thing. This is somebody who intimately knew the area. I mean, how old is this thing? And I'm going to say, like, to myself as I start looking at it.
You can actually give me... this would be another investigation with advantage. Because you're less like, I want to carbon date it. You're more looking for signs. This thing? How old it is? I mean, at least 1,000 years old.
This might be the original blueprints of the map, of the catacombs.
That's kind of what you're thinking. And beyond that, there's something to this that it's not actually a detail on the map. It's a detail on the case, and it's sort of the map. There's a smell on it, a residual smell of the sea, but not just any sea, of actually the cold seas of the far north of the continent of Mother's Horn, which, Sid, you remember it's the continent that you went to war with, your culture went to war with however many years ago. It's a continent to the northwest, and the Dragonborn weren't actively at war with you, but enough of them were in the fighting that, oh, that's why. Okay, but it's still a very strange place for it to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, why would it be so far from Lich-Vale then?
Who knows?
So
Looks
do we
like
just see
it's.
Sid
It looks like it's
smelling the map.
Yeah, it looks like it's
But gnomes
passed hand
sniff
many
everything,
times.
though. Gnomes sniff everything.
I mean, Amelia, you know that there's a smell to magic, so he's just looking for an illusion on there.
Like the gnomes are the only people that if they sniff your hair, it's not meant to be creepy. It's like I'm actually trying
Oh,
to
that's
figure something out
creepy.
about
Oh, I'm so sorry.
you. He's like at a coffee shop. He's like, I'm gonna take a latte and you remember.
With that, we're going to take our first break. We're probably just going to have one longer segment after this, unless I really need to pee. So everyone go get a drink and things like that, and prepare for mystery and map reading. I like map reading. Cartography. Orienteering.